Hello, greetings and salutations. I'm
Hello.
Dr. Bradley. This is Ms. Malone. She'll be sitting in and observing today.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, you
I'm Monica Johnson.
are? Okay, Ms. Johnson. Well, before we get started with the session today, I want to go over a couple things. It's called a confidentiality agreement between you and me.
Mhm.
This agreement literally protects us both. Whatever you tell me is stuck between me, you, and this wall, and the observer, which he has also signed a confidentiality agreement with me.
Okay.
That everything said between us stays between us. If my records are subpoenaed by the courts, I'll do my best to protect your best interest and mine. And if you decide that you want to disclose something about the abuse of a child, abuse of a loved one, relative, anything like that, I just may have to, based on my discretion, the severity, the nature of the incident, that I may disclose it to the DCO, the police department, whoever needs to be known and
Okay.
notified, okay?
Okay.
You understand the agreement?
Yes.
Okay, so we move forward. Can you tell me what brings you in?
Um, I wanted to come and talk about my greatest ambition and how that affects me on a day-to-day basis. Um, my, I'm a mom, a new mom, first-time mom.
Congrats.
Thank you. My son is 1, and one of my greatest ambitions is to be a great mother. And so I try to do everything in a way that I think is beneficial to my son, but I think what happens is that I struggle with trying to be a great mom. I think that parenting is double-sided. It's wonderful, it's beautiful, it's amazing, and then it's frustrating, annoying, and time-consuming, and trying to find the balance between those two sometimes. And I'm a single mom, so sometimes the responsibilities get a little overwhelming, and so trying to just balance all the responsibilities of parenting with my goal to be a great mom and make sure my son has a great childhood and life and is a productive person.
Of course, as a parent myself, I have that same ambition. But let's talk about some things. I heard you say you struggle with trying to be a great parent, and I want to know how does that make you feel? Struggling, is that a good struggling, like a sigh of relief that I struggled today, but it was well worth it, or how does it make you feel struggling?
I think it varies. It depends on what I have going on. Sometimes, if it's a long weekend like this past weekend, it's like, whew, made it through 3 days at home with this kid by myself without daycare or anything. And so it might be a sigh of relief. And then other days, it's a long work week, lots to do at work, school work, because I'm in graduate school as well. Then I have to take care of my son, not having a lot of help that weekend. So then those are the days where it's like, oh man, this is tough. But I know I have to do it, and I want to do it, but it's still tough. And I still would desire to be a good mom. So I'm sure it just comes with the territory, but some days it's just like, oh.
Okay. So is it safe to say that you feel overwhelmed because you're a mom and that you know you want to be great, so you take on the battles of being a mom? Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, but I think I would also, maybe I put too much pressure on myself to be a great mom. Because I don't want to be a good enough mom, I want to be a great mom. But as a new mom, I think I'm just still learning that mistakes will happen. There will be days where he drives me bananas,
Okay. So I'm taking from my last few statements that what you're feeling and the meaning behind everything that you feel is because, like, yes, you're a first time mom. You're gonna make mistakes. We all make mistakes, but also is how we adjust to those mistakes, you know. And so, safe to say, like, you're overwhelmed being a first time mom, but also you don't mind struggling because you want to give your son the best of everything. You want to be a great mom. You want that, Mother of the Year, plaque on the wall. Exactly. So, I mean, you feel overwhelmed because you're a first time mom and, you're trying to be, you're trying to be, I would say, like your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. It's fine. That's common. First time mothers would feel overwhelmed. As a first time father myself, I was overwhelmed because I was like, this little thing is crying. She's crying Are you wet? Are you hungry?
Mm-hmm.
You're overwhelmed. On the easy week, it's like, oh, you're hungry, go eat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But on a rough week, it's like, I don't know what to do.
Right.
Understand?
Right. I've just learned to take a little break. Like he's old enough now that I can put him in his playpen so he can't get out or get into anything, and let him watch like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse for 20 minutes while I just go and sit. And that is all. And I don't feel guilty about it anymore, but I just got, like, literally just got to that point probably in the last couple of months. Because before I was like, I need to be with him every minute. I need to be watching what he's doing. But
You said you don't feel guilty anymore. So I'm sensing that as a mother, you feel responsible at every waking moment when he's around.
mm-hmm. Yep.
So in that feeling of guilt, is it like, I want to eat that ice cream, but I shouldn't? Or, I want to go out to eat, but I have this child, so I shouldn't. So
Like, I don't hang out a lot because I'm like, he's my responsibility, so I don't want to. He's my responsibility, so I'm going to be the one to take care of him, and I'm not going to burden anyone else with it. So I sometimes all of that gets heavy, all of that thinking about it and all of the things, it gets heavy. So I guess, and in my goal to be the greatest mom ever, some of that gets really heavy, so.
it falls under the same umbrella when, I would feel guilty because I want to be the greatest mom. But also, with feeling like you want to be the greatest mom, you also sweep everything else under that same umbrella. Like, I want to be the greatest mom, so there's no excuses for anything. I give myself no room for error.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, sometimes we have to give ourselves that chance. That 99% chance of, yes, I'm going to be great, but there's that one time where I may stumble, I may stammer, but it's how I get up and how I recover that'll give me that full 100%.
Yeah. And I think I'm trying to work my way towards that. Yeah. It's tough some days because it's just me and him. So, I mean, I have family here and they, support system, and they help me out and all of those things. But at the end of the day, the way I view it, the only person I can rely on to help me with my son for certain is me.
You've taken on the task of being mom, and it almost sounds like you've taken on the task of being dad, in a sense, because I haven't heard you mention his father, simply because as a mother you feel responsible. You want the challenge. It sounds like almost like a basketball game in a sense, where you want the challenge of being the greatest to ever do it.
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm purposely trying to take on dad. I am a firm believer that I can only be mom. I cannot be dad, and so I have enough work as being mom. So I have no desire to try and replace his dad. His dad is here and available. He isn't as involved as I think he should be, but it's not about what I think. But I certainly don't want to. I grew up with my mom and dad. They have distinct roles. I know I can't be his dad, so I'm not trying to do that. But I guess in the capacity that I do, or the role that I do have as mom, I may be trying to up the ante on that, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, up in the ante, there's nothing wrong with, taking that gamble or upping the ante in the sense of this is the meaning behind, the reasoning behind everything I do. The meaning behind me being a mom, I want to be the greatest. Point blank period. I want to be the greatest mom. I want that plaque on the wall when he's 25 and I'm 50 and it says, world's greatest mother. I mean, there's that motivation, there's that unconscious factor that sits there in all of us. I want to be the greatest dad. So guess what? Those pressures are on me also. We share similar, ambitions, similar desires that, I'm a single dad, but you know what? She's with her mother most of the time. So am I really a single dad, But in essence, we're a partner. We're a team. And so as a team, it's like, we up that ante, we do what we can, to be supportive of each other. And so we both can say, you know what, our roles complement each other very well, that guess what? We are great at what we've done. We are, those parents we thought we should be.
I don't operate from that.
What do you operate as?
I operate from facts, and the fact is, for my household, it is just me.
Okay.
When and if his dad is involved, it's when and if. Not for sure his dad has him on every third, it's not that rigid. So I can only operate off the fact that it is just me and my son, and I am the one responsible for him. Now, if his dad is involved, then of course I can acknowledge that at that time, but I don't operate off if and when. I can't, because that'll drive me bananas doing that.
And I understand that.
Okay.
Next time you come in,
Okay.
we'll talk about Sigmund Freud and the reality principle.
All right.
All
Works
right.
for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah,
That was a good one session. That was a good session.
I'm telling you.